Today we're going to learn how to schedule studio time using the Audio Reader Scheduler. Most Audio Reader volunteers utilize a standing appointment for their studio times. However, if you need flexibility and your reading assignment allows for it, our online studio scheduling system can be very useful. You'll want to start by getting a link to the scheduler. You'll do this by emailing jnigro@ku.edu. You'll receive an email, and in that email will be an attachment. Double-click on that and open the document with your online studio scheduling instructions. You'll want to read through these before you get started. Then, when you've done that, you're going to highlight the link, choose the copy option in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, open your favorite browser, right-click, and paste, then hit enter. You're now on the Audio Reader Scheduler page. Before you do anything else, if this is your first time visiting, you want to bookmark that page. Do that by clicking on the star in the upper portion of the screen. Each screen will look a little bit different depending on your browser, but the star is usually an indication that you want to add it to your favorites. In this case, it's already set it up for it to be in my bookmarks bar. I'm going to click Done, and it shows up here so I can get to it anytime I need it. Now, as you look at the scheduler, you're going to see that across the top are the various Audio Reader studios. Most of these you can schedule yourself, but there are a couple that only staff can schedule. You want to look at Studios 1 through 6, Maybergert, and Call if you want to schedule any of the others. Down the left-hand side is the hours. You can technically schedule in any increment that you wish. However, most people book in half-hour segments. It's okay to leave yourself a little bit of wiggle room. Now, this view of the scheduler is a single snapshot. It's a single day in the life of Audio Reader. So, in order to find the day that you want to record, you're going to use this calendar over here to the left. As an example, I'm going to choose October 31st. So I click on that, and it's going to move to that day. Now, anytime you load the scheduler, it's going to default to the current day, so always check the calendar to make sure you're on the right one. You'll see it highlighted here on the calendar, and you'll also see it listed here at the top of the page. Now, let's choose a studio time. These are all booked studios. Anytime you see a name, an assignment, and it's highlighted in blue, those are already booked studios. So you want to look at all of this white space that's available. In order to choose an open time slot, just click, and up here where it says event title, enter your last name in capital letters. This way we know who's coming. Here, you're going to be allowed to choose how long you want the studio. Most people need to book an hour and a half to 2 hours. We're going to go ahead and book 2 hours. So we're going to choose 3 o'clock. We're already listed in Studio 1, which is where we clicked, and we're going to enter what we're reading. This way, if a staff member is helping you find your reading material, they can refer to the calendar to know what you're doing. In the upper right, click the green Save button, and your appointment will appear on the calendar. Now, we've just booked a single appointment. Say you want to book for several weeks in a row. You can simply click on your appointment to go back into it, make sure your time is set where you want it to be, and add a repeat by clicking the Repeats bar. Most people will choose weekly, so just click on Weekly. Make sure that it's on the day of the week that you want. And if you're not sure how long you want it to go, just leave it in there forever. You can always go back and change it later. If you have a set date, you can make a choice and repeat it until that specific date. For this example, we're just going to leave it at forever. Click on the green Done button, and then Save, and your changes will be saved. Now, if you click Forward in the calendar, you'll see that I'm showing up every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Let's go back to the 31st. And let's say that I've woken up that morning and decided my day is just not going the way I'd planned, and there is no way I'm going to make it by 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock would be a much better time. So what I can do is I can go back to this link that I've bookmarked. I can click on my appointment and simply drag it and drop it to a new time. Alternatively, if you aren't comfortable with drag and drop, you can click on the appointment to get into it and change your time up here using the drop-down menu. You'll click Save, and it will show up in the new time slot. You can also use this method to change your studio. I'm booked in Studio 1 because if I book over here, I run into conflicts in future weeks. But today, there's plenty of open space in another studio, and maybe I prefer number 2. Again, I can either drag and drop over to the new studio, or I can click into that link, click the X to get rid of the studio I'm in, click again for the list of studios, and choose which room I'd like to be in. Click Save, and there you are. Now, when you're doing this, you do want to make sure that you're not booking over top of someone else because the system won't let you book an overlapping appointment. Now, let's say that I want to change more than one appointment. Let's go a couple of weeks out here. Let's look at Thanksgiving week. Say I'm going to be traveling and I'm not going to be back for a few weeks. What I can do is click on my appointment and click Delete. It's going to give me the option to delete either a single, a future, or all events. You're rarely going to want to use all events because that deletes everything behind where you're working as well. Future will delete everything from this event forward. Single will delete just this event. So say I'm just going to be gone this week and the next. Probably the best choice is going to be single. Click on that and it will remove that. Move to the next week. Click on your appointment, click Delete in the upper right-hand corner, choose Single again, and now you've just canceled yourself out for the 2 weeks around Thanksgiving. Now, let's say we want to make a more long-term adjustment. For instance, you've gotten into December, your kids are out of school, and you've realized Tuesdays just aren't going to work anymore. So click on the date where you want to stop your Tuesday appointment, click on it to open, click Delete, and choose Future to get rid of all of your future appointments. Then, when you're ready, you can go back into the system and schedule a new standing appointment. Now, anytime you enter the scheduler, you want to make sure that you have a fresh view. So refresh your browser if you leave this up on a regular basis like I do, or after you've made a change, click Refresh to make sure that you're still looking at the current schedule. Please note you won't be able to change appointments made by a staff member. You'll need to call in to get access to those. If you have questions about the instructions for scheduling a studio or need to get a link, remember, just email jnigro@ku.edu.